Two claps. Ready? Hey, it's Coach JohnBeam from Laney College and Last Chance Shoot. Two claps. Ready? Hey, this is my first podcast. It's the Coach JohnBeam Ready podcast, and I got my first guest is Mr. Derrick Gardner. Hey, Derrick, how you doing today?
Well, Coach, how you doing, my man?
It's been awesome. Hey, Derrick and I go way back. I met Derrick in the 10th grade when he was probably 14 years old. And I tell you what, when he came to Skyline to play, it was an unbelievable time. How was it for you when you first walked up to Skyline and you met me that first time?
It was probably before that. You know, you were the man, the myth, and the legend. So even though we met officially in the 10th grade, I was probably 13 years old when I first heard about JohnBeam. So just the aura of Titan pride, it was no doubt, and didn't fall short at all of the expectation of what it was. You know, hard work, hard discipline. I talk about it all the time, man. Anchored in the weight room, being on time, being early, staying late. Those things are kind of perpetuated not only through Skyline, but, you know, what you're doing right now at Laney. So you were the real deal. You're still the real deal, but you're definitely the real deal back when I was a 10th grader.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, for me, it's been an unbelievable journey, you and I together, right? We started out when you played JV, varsity, go on to Cal, play in the NFL, move forward into life after football, your wife, your daughters, seeing your family grow, seeing you grow, then coming back to have you coach with me, and then become not only a colleague as a coach, but also a colleague as a teacher, right? An instructor at the college level. I'm so proud of that journey. Tell us a little bit about the journey that you took, right? Just give us a little bit of a snapshot of what it was like for you.
It's very interesting. You know, Coach, playing ball, I always knew I had a gift from God to play ball. And I just like anything in life, if you have a gift or a calling, I think it's your duty to maximize it, right? And so playing football for me was kind of stage by stage, day by day. At Skyline, I really often didn't think about what college I was going to go to until it was my time, right? Same thing at Cal. Once I got to Cal, didn't really think about the league until my senior season was over, and then I progressed to the next step. So I would say I'm an all in the moment guy, meaning if I'm at Skyline, I'm going to be at Skyline. If I'm at Cal, I'm going to be at Cal. If I'm at Laney, I'm going to be at Laney. And I don't know where that mentality came from or if it's just in my DNA, but that's who I am. So the moments in the journey is forever growing and it's forever going. And I would say this, that football today, or even playing football, I still run and do everything like I do, like I'm an athlete, right? I still get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, go meet Shavies and them at the gym. My day's anchored in the weight room, very similar to meeting you at 7 o'clock in the morning, getting that mat workout in, you know, before I went to class. And it's just something about working out. I like the way, you know, it makes my body feel. I like the way my clothes fit. You know, I like to wear my slacks fit in a certain type of way. So I stay in there and try to stay active, but it's good, you know, in the transition in the trajectory, I think it's limitless. Like you say, it's about the choices that you make, the patterns that you create. And I just think the habits that I kind of created for myself, and we talk about that a lot too, has helped me continue to say, well, what's next? You know, I always want to go to the highest level in whatever sector that is. You know, if it's coaching, I want to go all the way. If it's teaching, I want to go all the way. If it's in real estate, I want to go all the way. So I'm an all-in guy. And I think that's what kind of helped me, regardless of what field I'm in. I have this internal passion for doing it at a high level and doing it with quality and excellence.
Well, I think, you know, one of the things I don't think people understand, and you know, I want you to maybe talk about a little bit, but maybe the listeners can get this and the viewers. When I want you to go back to your 12th grade year, you know, you're one of the top corners in the area, being recruited by all the Pac-10 schools. There wasn't Pac-12 at that time, but Pac-10. And you had a little bump in the road. You had great 3.3 GPA, but you hadn't got the qualifying score in SAT of 700. And I told you you had to make a choice. I said, look, Derrick, here's the deal. Football and grades are the only things you can do. You don't have time for girls. And that means I can't see you on campus with a girl. If you're with a girl, you got a girlfriend at this time, you can't do that, not play for me. So I made you, basically, I said you couldn't have a girl during that time. How did that feel when I said that? Now, maybe you had one on the under I didn't know about, but at least on campus you didn't. I mean, did you do it? And was it worth the sacrifice? And then what did your friends and people say about that type of choice that you had to make?
I think the story is more impactful today than when I was actually going through that as a 17, 18-year-old young man on campus, you know? So there's a saying that I like, in order to get something that you don't have or that you never had, you have to sacrifice something that you never sacrificed before. And my social life, my social capital at the time, you know, being the man on campus, I mean, that was a lot, right? To take that away, it's like, ooh, you know, who am I without this? You know, but you learn and you grow. And I think that I talk about that experience today. I recently just shared that with my wife, like in depth, in detail, like the mindset, the shifting, the belief system that, you know, from your input on that all the way to Robert and Linda's input on that, and collectively, you know, helping me achieve that ultimate goal. But it was, I believe, the fear of failure, right? So you can look at that two ways. The fear of failure is the fight or flight syndrome. You're either gonna fight or you're gonna flee. And me taking the mental fortitude to fight for something that I felt so devastating about, you know, cerebral, I couldn't figure this SAT situation out. Felt like I was a smart guy, a decent guy, but this was the one thing, a hindrance, like the thorn in my side. So take it, it's like, I'm reading this book. It's called The Winner. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan's guy wrote it, the trainer. And he said, if you could define winning in one word, what is it? What would you say it is, coach? In one word, what is winning to you?
Man, completing a task. I don't know. So completion.
Completion for you, right? And that's the same thing I thought, right? Like, you know, pure bliss, right? And he's like, no, he said, look at it from the opposite end of the stick, the dirty, the sacrifice. So once I took that mindset, it's losing. In order to win, you have to lose something. As a coach, to win the state championship, you got to lose time with your family. You're going to lose some friends along the way, right? You might even lose some money because you can't work because you got to go put the time in with the young man. So in order for me to win that SAT, I had to lose those things, right? I had to lose my comfort zone. I had to lose being in Oakland. I had to lose a girlfriend, like you said, and maybe even lost a friend or two on the road because I was so absentee-minded on tackling this individual task. But that moment would be the pin in my life where if I had to put a period or a dot to say, this changed me, it was that fear of failure. Like, didn't know junior colleges recruit me. I didn't think I even knew what a JUCO was. I'm like, what? Like,
You weren't supposed to with those grades, right?
funny that you brought that up. I was just going through my old stuff. I still have that SAT 720 score in my bag, right? I'm probably going to frame that, you know, because just the story behind it. And you know the story and it continues to go. But winning is losing, man. What are you willing to lose to win? And I had to lose everything that you mentioned plus some to win the SAT.
And I think what I want to share too with people is this, is that, you know, you hear the phrase all the time, it takes a village to raise someone. In your case, your village was Robert and Linda as well. Your two first cousins, aunt and uncle, however you want to frame it, that took you and let them live with them in Vallejo. And every day from that hour drive from Vallejo to Skyline, you were working on your SAT words every day on that drive and then going home. And so without those two helping you, who were both, one was a Cal grad, one was a Grambling grad, right? To help you, because at that time, had anybody else in your immediate family graduated from college?
No. And I mean, I guess that's immediate family. You know, Robert's my cousin through marriage, right? So, but check this out. What Rob did for me, it wasn't so much the vocabulary or the mathematic issue. It was more set of a mindset and a belief system that Rob really helped me create, right? Every day we would get home from Skyline, I'll take a nap, we wake up, I eat dinner, and then we study. But he would make me wear the same clothes, the earrings, all the way down to the shoes of what I'm going to wear when I take that test. So that I wore that same outfit for 6 weeks every night up until that Saturday morning that I went to take the test. And I'll never forget this. I thought Rob was crazy. We'll get in this car, it's Honda Civic, whatever we was driving with no AC. He rolled the windows up and he give me a little notepad and a piece of paper. And he tell me to write down 3 goals, one life goal, one football goal, one personal goal that I see myself achieving over the next 5 years. So it was visualization. So I'm doing this and I'm like getting to school like, hey, my cousin crazy. This dude got me going into the future, going back into the, you know, back into time and trying to figure out what's the trigger, where was it, what happened. And it was pretty much habit, belief in yourself, being comfortable, not worrying about how you look because you already been in, putting yourself in the moment before you about to be in the moment, playing the game before you play it. All the sports psych stuff is what he did for me academically. And when I walked in the room, I had confidence. And I mean, my score probably pivoted 30 or 40 points, which was all I needed.
Correct.
But it worked, whatever that was, it worked, and so my hat's off to them, man. And like you say, it takes a village to raise a child, and it's even more so when it's not your child.
No, and exactly. And I think what people don't realize is that, if we went back in time now and we stood in front of all your friends that were kind of laughing at you that you allowed myself and Robert and Linda to change kind of your social structure, what did you achieve? Because what was the value that you got from, well, you got a degree from Cal, right? University of California, Berkeley, the #1 public institution in the world. You got to play as a true freshman at Cal. From there, you got the opportunity to play in the National Football League. I want to talk a little bit about the National Football League, and I want to tell everybody this. So understand this. When Derrick played for me at Skyline as a senior, in 12 games, he didn't give up a pass until game 11. Not one ball was caught on him. When the ball was finally caught him in the 11th game, he hit the guy for a -5-yard loss. And in the 12th game, nothing was caught on him. So you had almost a perfect record as a DB. You go to Cal, you start as a true freshman in the big game, Cal-Stanford. Unbelievable game, right? Stadium's packed. I got fortunately to be there. And then you made it to the pinnacle of the National Football League, playing for the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons that the year before were in the Super Bowl. What was it like to walk into training camp with the Falcons?
It was unbelievable, man. I guess as a kid, like I said, I wasn't really big of a dreamer, but I'm like, it's just like when I left Skyline to go to Cal and you see all the pictures on the wall, it's like, well, if they could do it, I could do it. They're no better than me. But to walk in that moment into that locker room, it's kind of like, you don't really feel like you belong or you made it until you start making a few plays, because
Yep.
especially me, I'm free agent. Like I already know I could get cut before I even make it to practice, So it wasn't until I started making a few plays, sitting down with a few reporters, and I kind of sized up the competition. The dude, Lawrence, forget his last name, but he was a 5-year vet, and we battling for the nickel and dime spot. And I felt like, one, I can get him two, I outplayed him in the preseason. So I thought I had a very good chance. So it wasn't until then I kind of felt like, okay, DG, you most likely can probably play a few years in this league, Didn't turn out that way, but I would say in retrospect, I put the pants on, I ran down that field, man, it felt great. And it's kind of like you're kind of in awe the whole time you're there. I don't think it really matters how long you're there, because this is the apex. These are the alpha males in your industry, and to be amongst them is truly an honor, So I would just say I was more like honored to be there, and every day I worked my ass off to try to stay there.
Here's the thing I wanted to share with people, right? I think that playing sports or athletics is an unbelievable life experience, right? Not only is it just, not about winning, but you got a chance to go to Cal. Here you come from a single mom raising you, 3 children, right? And I remember, hey, time was tough, right? You got to go buy your 2 pair of jeans before school, right? And you and your brother would each get 2, and now you had 4, right? So you could share. But the thing is, you go to Cal, you meet unbelievable people. You got to play in the NFL in Atlanta, move to Atlanta. Even in high school, we got to go play in Hawaii, right? So you get a chance to leave Oakland and go to Hawaii, a whole new experience, right? And then after you played in the NFL, now the World Football League came. And you got to play in Europe and Germany, and you won a world championship there. All of that because you donned helmets, shoulder pads, and cleats and went out. And that opened up a whole new world for you, right? To see what's past Oakland, what can be possible, right? When you grow up in Oakland or many places, like an inner city, you don't see beyond your neighborhood borders, right? I mean, how many times did you leave your neighborhood in North Oakland or wherever you guys lived at that time, those apartments, right? And went to expand to something new. All of a sudden, your world got open for you, right? And now, as an adult, let's talk about now what you're doing, right? So, you left the NFL, like you said, you thought you were going to play 5, 6, 7 years, right? Retire, never have to work again. But the NFL, right, stands for what? Not for long league, right? So league's over. Now what are you doing post-NFL in your life? And how's it been, whatever this new journey that you're taking? Can you explain that to us or share?
Let's talk about that, because you hit on a couple of awesome points. The game, right? The pathway. And that's what, you try to get to the younger generation is you have to get as much out of this game that the game is going to give you, right? It's going to beat your body up. It's going to take your soul. It's going to take your mind if you let it. But at the same time, it creates pathways. The one thing I love about sports, like you said, going to Cal, going to Europe, going to Canada, playing in LA in the arena ball, XFL, all those things, there is no, it breaks down all the barriers, right? There is no self-conceit. It doesn't matter station, class, or wealth. When we show up as a team, right? I told Ziza this. I said we could have Buddhists, atheists, Catholics, and Christians, and we get together and we pray and we practice, and then we're gonna go out there and we're gonna try to destroy our opponent. Nobody cares about anything else except for can you ball, right? And so football brings life into an arena that shows us that it matters not background, it matters not social economic status. If we can get together on one common goal, we can go win, right? And so I say all that to say is I take that same mantra into life after football. So right now, right, my wife and I, we're both teaching at Merritt College in the real estate department. We're running LA Bay Properties, which is a full real estate brokerage services, serving our community, serving Oakland and the surrounding counties. And I treat it like I'm an athlete, right? I run my business similar to being an athlete. I'm a hands-on guy. I'm gonna beat you there. I may not be the smartest or the biggest. I'm gonna outwork you, right? And I'm gonna go collaborate. I'm gonna use my charisma. I'm gonna use my negotiation skills. I'm gonna use everything I have to try to win, right? I'm still trying to get wins at the end of the day. And I like that. It's funny that you said that. Check this out. So me and my dad, we talking about doing something in Texas with his situation. I'm looking for a realtor out there, and I'll go online. I'm doing my research, and I'm like, oh, I forget the lady's name. I'm like, she's got a 310 number. She's from California, and her bio says something about being an Olympic being in the Olympics for powerlifting. I'm like, she's my girl because I want that mindset.
Correct.
I want that mindset. So I think sports creates this mindset in this belief system of, almost by any means necessary, and not in the sense that I'm always looking for, a win-win situation where if I can gain, you could probably gain more, but in the sense that by any means necessary, I'm going to get there and I'm going to do my best to beat other agents out, do my best to beat other professors out, whatever the case may be. I'm still competing. So it's definitely carrying over in all the hard work, all the mindset, it transcends into real life if you allow it to.
Well, and I think that's so important. So let's pivot again, right? Last Chance U, you were an integral part of it, right? And I tell you what, I mean, I wish they would have shown Last Chance U how our dialogue on the sideline together, right? Because I mean, so Derrick is the DB coach. He coaches the corners. He coached both Ray and Shawnee, and they're going to both be on the show. And those are two very talented guys, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But how's it on the sideline with me always in your ear about where's the post defender, man? How come we ain't got a post defender, man?
I'm just a sponge, man. I know you need an outlet, to try to figure out what we got going on. And when there's critical moments there, you gotta find somebody, so we attract who we are. I know who you are, you know who I am. I don't take it personal, I figure I just tell everybody that's the JohnBeam way, so it's all good. It's all love. I love the dialogue, man. I'm a little fiery too during the game. I'm not a big rah-rah cuss guy, but something about football that kind of brings that alter ego out in you, so I just look at it like, oh, that's Beam's alter ego right there. The punches, the few not so polite words. But at the end of the day, we might go have a taco or two at the end of the game. So it's good.
That's for sure.
Or that burrito that Cindy like to bring you. Let me get that.
Right. And the DB juice that you like to bring people. Hey, we were sitting there, right? And after Last Chance U, I've been on, hundreds of podcasts all around the world. And people were always talking about, like a big moment, a big sports moment that sticks out. And I think you know how I feel. I have so much love for you and your family, but you in particular as well. And one of the biggest moments was when we won the state championship, and we tackled the quarterback. At the end of the game, game's over, running on the field, and I don't know what it was. I just saw you and I just jumped, and man, you caught me. First of all, I couldn't believe I got that high off the ground. I was ready to go play in the Laney College Friday League, man. I might have been able to dunk that day. I got so much hop. But how was it when you caught me, man? Did I catch you with that, or you just had no problem on that surprise?
Like you do funny things, man. I'm just glad you were exercising, doing your push-ups and your walking at the time, and I was still deadlifting. So we both came out healthy. We got a great picture out of it. I love that photo too, man. That was pure joy. I was in the moment, and those are the things that you'll never forget. So I appreciate you letting me be a part of that
Oh,
epic
man, I
moment.
appreciate you every minute.
Every minute. So real quick, we're running out of time here. Give me, what do you think about Shawnee? Here he is, third round draft pick by the Cowboys, right? Following in your footsteps in a lot of ways, right? And what do you think the people can expect from Shawnee as a rookie in the NFL?
Well, rookie, you just got to take full advantage of your opportunities. You're going to expect him to play a lot of special teams, right? If he's not starting, he's going to play a lot of special teams, and then he has to be prepared. He has to prepare himself as if he is a starter, because it could be one play, it could be a quarter, or it could be week 9, and number 40 is called to go in the game. So that's the hardest part, is you go from being high school to college, you the man. And now if you're not a starter in the league, there is no, like at Laney, 3 corners aren't playing. There won't be a severe rotation, right? It's like, this our package. If we need a dime and a nickel, your number might get called. If we don't match up well there, your number's not going to get called. So just staying mentally into the game and, pretty much warming your body up as if you're going to go in. And another thing I would tell Shawnee and Ray when their time come is you have to, same thing like I said, I'm running my business like I'm an athlete, and their business is actually being an athlete. So the next off season, Shawnee has to put in the same amount of work that he put in preparing for the combine. Every year, you probably got to spend 25 to 50 grand in the off season on preparation, flying yourself out, get into that space, get into those clinics, running your body, training your body every year. If you invest 25K, but what's the league minimum now? 600, 1,000, million?
Probably, I don't know, 800. Shoot, more than I make as a teacher.
It was 275 when I played, so let's just call it 700,000.
Man, can I get a loan? That 275 must be worth at least 3-4 million right now with your investment strategies.
Your investment strategy, we'll talk about that later. But thank you. The 401k, the solo 401k, and the SEP IRAs, the IULs, all those good things. Hey, call JohnBeam if y'all need financial advice. But yeah, he has to continue to invest in his business, which is his body. Every offseason has to be a combine offseason.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things I can share here, right? So Shawnee stopped by today, him and his fiance, and he was able to peep to me, gave me a little inside information. Look for 25 on the field next time he's out there. He switched from 40 to 25. Yeah, I like.
No, I like 25 over 40. I'll take that.
All right. So now we got Shawnee. Shawnee's in the league.
Yep.
Reg's at Oregon State.
Yep.
What do you see for Ray? What do you see in Ray's future?
Man, I think Ray is going to be phenomenal. I love Ray's response, right? We talk about how do you respond to whether adversity or certain situations. And when your brother is your brother, right? And he's going and he's doing great things, that adds a little pressure to the younger brother. I've been there, right? So as long as Ray can figure out a way to, which I think he has no problem doing, is being himself. Right. I think that's the first thing. Be yourself, be true to yourself. And Ray's definitely that. And as long as Ray makes plays, figuring out the game a little bit is where I think his situation was a little different than Shawnee's, but it seems like he's making those strides and he's purely locked in. And we got a bet, man. Hey, I got a bet that Ray gonna run a 4-4, $1,000 bet with somebody on the Cowboys wearing number 25, not saying no names. So we gonna see. I think my money's on Ray. That's what I'm saying. I like the kid.
I thought it was the other way around because I had money on Ray, but okay, I love it.
Only let me know, but that's my bet. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I never lose no bet. So, I always make sure I stack the deck.
Hey, man, I'll be at that Cal game, maybe wearing Cal gear, but I'm definitely rooting for Rajon Wright in October in Berkeley.
Derrick, I really appreciate taking the time. I know it's been a great journey that you and I have been together. And I know the next chapter in our book is coming, right? Even though you're not coaching at Laney any longer, I know that you and I will have another chapter going because I think we are, whether you like it or not, we're kind of intertwined right, with our lives, right? And I can't tell you how special it is what you give to young people and every day, what you give back to the community. What I hope to bring you back again so we can just talk about some different things in the community. Different things about enlightening the community that we live in and you grew up in. so we can look at ways to make positive change. All right, so I want to thank Derrick Gardner, DG, for coming. If you're looking for a further education, he's teaching up at Merritt and real estate with his wife Ziza. And I want to thank Peralta Colleges and Peralta Television Station for helping support this. But more importantly, man, I want to thank what we do, you and I do for each other and our families, but our community. So let's finish this up. So 2 claps. Ready? Take care. Stay safe. Stay positive. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to comment and to like. And please subscribe. 2 claps. Ready?